So it's official. Anthony Joshua will square off against Jermaine Franklin on April 1st. This will be his first bout under new trainer Derek James. And to my knowledge, he's basing his training camp in the United States, which is something a lot of people think he needs to do. Now, the fight will be on DAZN. It won't be pay-per-view, at least not officially, but it's kind of pay-per-view by stealth because DAZN are increasing their monthly subscription in the UK to £19.99. And that is the option where you can cancel, I guess after 30 days or whatever, you can cancel. There are other options where you can effectively pay $9.99 a month, but that requires you to be committed to 12 months. And there's another option, again, where you need to be committed to 12 months and you pay an upfront fee of £99.99. And so this is, as I say, effectively pay-per-view by stealth from DAZN. You could say that, well, you're getting a whole month of content rather than just a one night for Anthony Joshua, but DAZN's output has been so poor in recent times. Can you really say you're getting much more value than a one-off pay-per-view if you're subscribing to DAZN for the Anthony Joshua Jermaine Franklin fight? And as I've said in the previous video, personally, to me, as an individual, I don't think it's worth paying to watch Anthony Joshua at this stage. Again, I'm not saying you shouldn't, and we all have different ideas and perceptions and what have you, but at this stage, I don't think he's an elite heavyweight. Perhaps he can build himself back up and become an elite heavyweight again, but right now, I don't see him that way, and therefore, I wouldn't want to pay. You don't necessarily have to be an elite heavyweight for me to want to pay to watch you. No, you don't necessarily have to be an elite heavyweight, but AJ's last two performances were underwhelming to me. He is a big, strong guy. He's got good power, good speed for his size. He throws very good combinations, but he was scared, let's be real, to pull the trigger against Alexander Usyk twice. So when you combine that with the fact that, to me personally, he's no longer an elite heavyweight, I don't want to pay to watch someone like that. And that goes for any fighter out there. They have to convince me that I'm going to get value when I fork out and pay to watch them fight. Anyway, AJ versus Jermaine Franklin. Eddie Hearn is saying that if Anthony Joshua doesn't win here, they've got a big problem. There may effectively be curtains on Anthony Joshua's career. And then he picks Jermaine Franklin as an opponent. I'm assuming Eddie Hearn's had some say in it. Franklin is an awkward night's work for AJ, I think. I don't think this is a guy who is going to be easy to blast out in a couple rounds and really boost AJ's confidence. This is an awkward guy, a short guy, tricky, slick defense, good counter puncher, tough, as we saw against Dillian Whyte. And stylistically, he's not particularly relevant to any of the top heavyweights that AJ might be targeting in the near future. He's nothing like Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, Deontay Wilder, Joe Joyce potentially if he can get hold of a belt, even Daniel Dubois. Jermaine Franklin fights like none of them, and even in terms of dimensions, he isn't similar to any of them. The only person who AJ might fight that Franklin has some similarities to, some might argue would be Dillian Whyte. But again, personally, I don't see Dillian Whyte at this stage as a top heavyweight anymore. And AJ's already knocked him out. Dillian Whyte has improved certain aspects of his game since first time they fought, but so has AJ. And Dillian Whyte, look, even though AJ doesn't have the greatest punch resistance himself and he's got confidence problems, Dillian Whyte's punch resistance has looked really, really bad over the past few years and seems to be deteriorating. I mean, he gets hurt every fight now, including against Jermaine Franklin. So, yeah, this choice of opponent for AJ, I don't understand it. Maybe it was DAZN that had a hand in this because they can use the fact that Franklin had a close fight with Dillian Whyte to promote this AJ fight. And then, of course, if AJ does a better job against Franklin, they can then sell the AJ Dillian Whyte rematch more. But if you're just looking at it from a fighter, not even development perspective, but let's just call it rehabilitation perspective, I don't think Franklin is the ideal opponent at all. I think he's, as I say, a guy who's difficult to look good against. Even if AJ wins, I'm not expecting him to look devastating. And maybe I'll be proved to be wrong. If AJ goes out there and gets him out in a couple rounds and looks really good, then hey, I'll hold my hands up. But and it is heavyweight boxing at the end of the day. AJ does have that kind of power. But if I'm just assessing it based upon what I saw in AJ's last 2 fights and in Franklin's last fight against Dylan White, I'm anticipating this is going to be an awkward night's work. Not necessarily an impossible night's work, but an awkward night's work. And I don't think AJ needs that right now. I think for his first fight back, he needs something nice and easy. And I've said many times in the past, I think that Gerald Washington would be perfect for that. And as far as selling it to the public, DAZN may be wanting a name that the public trusts more. Gerald Washington knocked out Robert Helenius, who Deontay Wilder just beat. So they can sell it by saying that AJ is fighting the guy that beat the guy Wilder just fought. And Wilder got all this praise after knocking out Helenius in 1 round. So again, they can sell it like this is a better opponent than the one Wilder just fought. So if Wilder can fight Helenius, why can't AJ fight Gerald Washington? And Washington, of course, in terms of dimensions, much more relevant dimension-wise and stylistically to the kind of opponents AJ may be targeting, with Alexander Usyk being the exception. And just as a trivial aside, some of you might see the date of April 1st being a portent of something. Is it going to turn out to be a joke fight in some way? Is the joke going to be on AJ? Is he going to get upset by Jermaine Franklin? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that as well.
Are you sick and tired of the mainstream mindset? Does the dogmatic conformity and pathological ignorance have you tearing your hair out in frustration? Then don't be alone. Come and join our brotherhood on Patreon. We stand as a beacon of reason against an army of insanity. You'll gain access to my weekly topical podcast, where we take more deep dives than Jacques Cousteau on an endless variety of subjects. There's also videos, interviews, live Q&As, as well as a vast back catalogue of previous episodes, including my popular Confessions of a Nightclub Bouncer series. You can listen via the Patreon app or download in high-quality MP3. Connect with myself and hundreds of other members in our Element chat group. There's no contract, no commitment, you can cancel at any time, and it's cheaper than a Mickey D's McMuffin. Just head to my Patreon page via the link below this video and select the tier called the Brotherhood of Reason. I'll see you over there.